Hi, hi. Hi, hi. I'm a bit late today. I am a bit late. I mean, more than a bit late. I mean, I am 1 hour late, Kuma, but it's, as I've said yesterday, I tweeted about it on my socials, but I was going to watch a movie, and I did today. Actually, I wanted to watch a movie yesterday, but I couldn't get the tickets to watch the first movie I wanted to watch, but eventually I ordered tickets for another movie and I watched it today, and I'm going to talk a bit about it, Kuma. I'm going to talk about it. It will be a shorter stream than usual, I feel like. I mean, I'm gonna see, because I still want to play a bit Sonic All-Stars, Kuma, even more than I want to beat it. I was close to beat the missions. Kuma. I'm feeling good today, by the way. Feeling quite good. Just let me do my tweets. My tweeting. Nice. But yes, it was a pretty fine day today, by the way, because I went to watch my movie. It was 2 p.m. 45. That's when the movie started, actually. But I went here earlier because it's on a movie theater. And actually, it's not even a movie theater. It was a theater, just a theater room, you know, more than a movie theater. So it was a pretty small room. But since it wasn't close to where I live, I took 25 minutes, actually faster than I expected, to get here. So I went here a little bit earlier. And honestly, it was a fine day, you know. It was cold. I mean, it's still the winter. We're getting closer to the spring, but it's still winter times. But it was sunny, Kuma. It was really sunny. I liked it. So I guess I can close this. Let me see. I had fun. I'm going to talk about it right now. About the movie. Which is named, the movie is named Kimi no Ilo, you know. And I already gave you my rating, as you can see at the top of my head. I've watched Kimi no Ilo, or The Colors Within, which is the English name. And by the way, I watched it on original version in Japanese, obviously, with subtitles, you know. They were French and English subtitles, but I watched it in Japanese, subtitled. And my rating is 7.5 out of 10. I'm gonna to explain you why, without getting too much into the spoilers. I won't say any spoiler, by the way, like, especially if you want to watch the movie. It will be a spoilerless review, but 7.5 out of 10 is a pretty good rating for me, all things considered. So here I tweet it. Let me see on Blue Sky. Again, I say it all the time, but the fact that I have to tweet on Blue Sky, it feels like everything I have to do it double now, for some reason. So let me see. Okay. Can close that too. And I can close this, because the problem with my potato PC, you know, like how everyone is playing the new Monster Hunter, and apparently even if you have a big rig, it can struggle. For example, the streamer that I used to watch a lot was playing Monster Hunter Wilds. He only played it one stream, and then the second stream he couldn't start it. It wasn't working. He couldn't stream the game. And so what happened? He tried to refund it because it wasn't working, but Steam refused his refund because he played the game for 5 hours already. So now he's stuck with the game, but he can't even play it. And his rig is 3090 RTX, so the NVIDIA graphics card, the 3000 series, but the 91, so the big one, the biggest one you could get at the time. And he has a pretty good CPU, to my knowledge, and 128 gigabytes RAM, which is outrageous to me because I don't know why he got so many RAM, but apparently he wanted the maximum. And the funny part is he's got so many RAM, but when he's playing games like that, like the Monster Hunter game, like recent games that are badly optimized, he can't even have music on the side. Like what I'm doing right now, you know, having a YouTube playlist, because the game is so intensive that it slows the PC down, pretty much. By the way, let me see if I got the notification on my server. I think I have it. It worked. It worked, Tuma. I felt like streaming, even if I knew I wasn't going to be on time. By the way, hello, Prince Anime. Hope you're doing good. I'm doing really fine today, Kuma. I'm doing really fine. I started a bit late, and I had a feeling I was going to start late because, again, I went to watch an anime movie today, and even though I came back at around 5 p.m. 30, I was hungry as hell, so I started to eat. I took my shower because, again, Eureka may be a neat, but she is not a stinky neat, Dio. She's not a stinky one. Eureka is always clean, so when I feel dirty, I took my shower every day. Every day I took a shower, you know. That's how I am. And then I ate, and then I was speaking a bit with my mother because actually there is another movie that I planned to watch this week because I liked it. Like the movie I watched today, I liked it a lot. It's the first time I've been to this place to watch movie, actually, you know. It's the first time I've been to this place to watch movie. And I think it was pretty nice, even though it was weird that it was in it's not a movie theater, it's just a theater, you know, not a movie theater, you know. It's the place where usually you see theater pieces, I guess. I'm not sure. Stage play would be the word in English. So it's not really a movie theater. So the room is pretty small, and this is why I got pretty much fucked because let me show you. I'm going to show you a little bit. Just a bit late, Dio. Okay. Let me show you. Hope you're doing fine, by the way. Today was a pretty nice day for me. So like this. Let me see. I'm going to show you what I plan to do because actually at first, as I said, I think I would just drop down a little bit this one, like this. So at first I had another plan, you know. I was going to watch another anime movie at first because to put it into context, let me put it into context, Kuma. Now in Brussels, Belgium, Waffleland, you know how I love waffles, there is an event that is currently happening, which is called the Brussels Animation Film Festival. And as the name suggests, it is a festival where they do screening of many animation works, animation pieces. And it's not only anime, you know, like you know how much of a weeb I am, so obviously I'm looking for anime, but there are so many stuff to watch, you know. There are animation works from all of Europe. So for example, there were works from Belgium, there are works from France, from Denmark, from Sweden, I don't know if there were works from America. I don't think they were. It was mostly Europe and some anime movies, pretty much. And I think it's pretty cool because I love animation. That's a thing that you should know about Eureka Rosemary Catherine Wainwright, the great scientist. One of my main hobbies, besides video games, because you already know I like retro games and gaming in general, and obviously VTubers. I'm a VTuber myself, but I enjoy older VTubers too. Especially my favorites are Colone and Henia the Genius. I think I talked a bit about it in the past. But besides that, you know it already. I love anime. I'm a weeb. I'm an otaku, Kuma. A true otaku. But even more than anime, Japanese anime, I just love animation. Because I've watched a ton. And when I say a ton, it's more than 2,000. Which is crazy to say. Crazy to say. Like, sometimes people don't believe me, but I've been watching anime for so long that I think more than 2,000 easily. Because there was a time I was only watching airing anime. I watched all the classics, obviously, a ton of older stuff. I love anime. I'm a weeb, an otaku. But even besides that, I always enjoyed animation, the animation medium. So even before watching anime, and that's actually how I started to get into animation, I was watching a ton of cartoons, notably on Cartoon Network. You know, I don't know if some of you know about this channel, television channel, because who is using TV these days, Kuma? TV. TV, lul. TV is an old thing, but back then, even at the beginning of the internet, because I'm not that old to have known the time before the internet. You know, when I was born, the internet was already a thing, but there was still the TV, you know, and I was watching a ton of cartoons on the television. And on Cartoon Network, there used to air a ton of old school cartoon. So notably Tom and Jerry and the old Looney Tunes, Tex Avery, the Hanna-Barbera production. So I think of stuff like Top Cat, the Jetsons, the Flintstones, like all of those are known, you know. Even if you haven't watched all of them, they're known by name, you know. And that's how I got into animation, and specifically old school traditional animation, because I think it's really cool. By the way, there is a thing I haven't checked. Let me see on my phone, just in case. Because I know I am live on Twitch, but I want to see if I'm live on YouTube too. I always do a double check. Because you never know with YouTube, you know. Sometimes it doesn't work. Let me see. I can see myself on the phone. Perfect, Kuma. So I was talking about my love of animation. I love it. I love animation, Kuma, so much. Pretty much my favorite hobby, you know. I think these days I watch way more anime than I play games, believe it or not. So let me see. Because I'm going to show you. Okay, this one is disabled. Here. I'm going to show you because at first, the movie I wanted to watch yesterday, because the screening, or at least one of the two screenings of the movie was yesterday. So let me see. Trying to find a good picture. That's not the cover I'm thinking about. I guess this one. That's the thing I wish I could do, is like preparing my stuff before, but it always feels that when I decide to stream, I don't have the time, you know, to prepare it, you know. I have the time to stream, but I don't have the time to prepare a stream, Kuma. That's how I am. So this movie, let me show you. So not this. This is not what I should show. Tenryuba, that's not what I wanted to show. This one, the movie. This is the movie I wanted to see. Oh, by the way, it's behind me. Let me put it here so you can see it here. This one. This is the movie I wanted to watch at first, which is named Paprika. I don't know if you know or if you've watched this movie before, but I did watch it many times because it's directed by one of my favorite anime director ever. And by the way, he's dead a long time ago. Like Satoshi Kon is the name of the anime director who's directed this movie, between others. Let me see if I can find a good picture to show you of Satoshi Kon, because it's one of the most iconic anime directors ever. If you've never watched a Satoshi Kon movie, you should. I would recommend it, you know. Even if you don't like anime, but if you want to get introduced into anime, I think Satoshi Kon movies are great for that. Really, I would recommend it. 100%, without a doubt. I guess... Oh, this one is a classic. This one is a classic picture, Kuma. Let me show you. Nice. I love talking about anime, by the way. I could talk about anime for hours, you know. I think that anime chit-chat would be the easiest for me, you know. I can talk about a lot of topic, actually, but if I want an easy topic to talk about, it would be anime, because I love it. So let me see, image, right here, let me find it. Him, this is him. This is Satoshi Kon, Kuma, which is, again, one of the most iconic anime directors ever, you know. He's the one who pretty much directed this movie, Paprika, between others. It's not even my favorite anime from him, you know. My favorite anime from Satoshi Kon anime movie would be Perfect Blue, which is for me a masterpiece, you know. It's the first movie he ever directed, by the way, but it's a masterpiece for me. But Paprika is really good too. It's a really good movie that I would recommend. And so, as I said, I never really had the chance to watch Satoshi Kon movies on a movie theater, you know. And I would say it's the case with a lot of anime movies, because they didn't really screen a lot of anime movies in Belgium. Now they're doing more. Usually what releases in France, which is a border country with Belgium, releases here too. And since now there's a ton of movie that releases in France, usually, there are some exceptions though, but usually you can watch them in Waffle Land, pretty much. But the classics, like for example Satoshi Kon movies or Mamoru Oshii movies, like Mamoru Oshii is another anime director that I really like, which his most iconic work would be pretty much the Ghost in the Shell movie. This one is a great movie too, one of my favorite movie. But so pretty much Satoshi Kon is one of the best anime director. I could say he's my favorite. I think he's my favorite, you know. I love so many people, but I really love him a lot. And unfortunately, he died in 2010, at 46 years old. So he died really young, it was a big shock when it happened back then, because he was so young and so talented, but he left us so quickly, you know, unfortunately. But pretty much, at least, I mean, it's sad, really sad that he died so young, but he made so many great movies that everyone remember Satoshi Kon. If you get into anime and you want to get seriously into anime, you have to know about Satoshi Kon. I say it respectfully, Kuma. For example, Prince Anime, you're telling me that you've seen Perfect Blue in 2019, and that's great. I love this movie. Paranoia Agent left a bigger impression on me. Paranoia Agent actually was really good too. I remember that regarding Paranoia Agent, let me see if I can find a picture of the cover, because I think it's a pretty cool one too. It's actually a TV series, and if I'm not mistaken, I'm pretty sure of that, I could say, because I'm pretty knowledgeable with Satoshi Kon works, because I pretty much watch everything from him. Really one of my favorite anime director ever. It's the only TV series that he directed, pretty much, you know. Paranoia Agent, or Moso Dairinin, which would be the Japanese name, at the origin it was conceived as a movie. It was supposed to be a movie, but then during the production they changed it to make it a TV series, pretty much. That's how it happens. And in my case, I really love it, but I know that regarding this one, most people liked it, but I know that some people wished it was a movie, you know? Like there's some discussion around it that some people preferred, like would have preferred that it was the movie format, you know, because they felt that maybe the TV series was dragging a bit too much, even though I never understood this criticism, because I think that Paranoia Agent is actually pretty well paced, but I could see it, I guess. And let me see when it released again. 2004. So it was before Paprika, you know, pretty much. Paprika is the last thing he ever directed. Specifically, like if I have to go into detail, it's not the case. He still worked on a clip, on a TV clip called Good Morning in 2008. Not 28, 2008, kuma. It's sort of like an anthology. It would have to abandon a lot as a movie. Yeah, that's true, because the way they, I think, from what I remember, at first it was going to be a pretty straightforward story, you know, with the typical Satoshi Kon style you can expect from his type of stories, obviously, but when they change it as to make a TV series, they made it more of an anthology, exactly, pretty much. But personally, Perfect Blue is my favorite. I love Perfect Blue. Really a lot. It's a movie that, it's actually one of the first anime movie I actually watched. Not the first one, but one of the first. The first one would be Kimba from Osamu Tezuka, pretty much, which is a pretty interesting one as a first anime movie, but I had the VHS of Kimba from Kimba the White Lion from my mother, and it's actually, I believe, the first Japanese anime movie I actually watched, pretty much. Perfect Blue, I watched it later than that, but I loved it. I just love the movie. I think the movie is really cool. I think it's really interesting how the movie is directed, especially since it's actually the first Satoshi Kon movie. And what I was going to say, this movie, there is a word line where this movie wasn't going to exist, because this movie actually exists. And by the way, let me show you. Can I see the... Let me see. That's what Lion King was adapted from. Exactly. You know your stuff, Prince Anime. Exactly. I mean, we shouldn't say that, Kuma, because some people could get pissed, I guess, but I don't get. I don't I don't care. Get triggered, Disney fans, but it's true. At least I took some inspiration from it. That's for sure. Pretty cool movie, by the way. I like Kimba. I should rewatch it eventually, but it's one of the anime movie that I had as a VHS, and I watched it many times because it's one of the... I mean, it's my first anime movie I actually watched, Kuma. Was it this one? Because I wouldn't want to show spoilers for people who haven't watched this movie. Usually Perfect Blue, I recommend it to people if they never watched it. Kuma. Let me see. Here. This one. Damn, pretty big picture. But that's one of the classic cover for the movie. This one would be my favorite. One of my favorite movie ever. What I've noticed during some of my rewatch of this movie, because I've rewatched this movie many times, like it's one of the movie I rewatched the most. I love the soundtrack. I love the soundtrack of Perfect Blue. I love it. Really, I love it. And it has this vibe. There is one specific track of Perfect Blue, but it's not the only one. But there is one specific track of Perfect Blue that is really reminiscent of Silent Hill. And Silent Hill released 2 years later. Perfect Blue is 1997, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, it is. It is. I know my stuff, Kuma. I said I'm an expert, Kuma. I'm an otaku. 1997, and Silent Hill 1 is 1999. I'm gonna share this track. I think I could share it on my socials to show people what I mean. But there is a specific track in Perfect Blue that is really, I think it's one of the inspiration of the soundtrack from Silent Hill 1, you know. I'm pretty sure of that. Because when you look at game designers and people working on games and stuff, especially Japanese people, they're otaku themselves, you know. And they watch a ton of stuff. And games, especially horror games like Silent Hill or Resident Evil, were made by people that are really into movies, whether it is real movies or anime movies. And I'm pretty sure of that, you know. I'm gonna share it eventually. But the track, like one of the main track of Perfect Blue, it's the exact same vibe as Silent Hill 1. Even the progression, you know, it really reminds me of Akira Toyama soundtrack, pretty much, really. So I think it's part of the inspiration, because Perfect Blue is a really, like, without getting into any spoilers, because usually when I try to talk about anime, unless I specify it on the title of my stream, I avoid spoilers, you know, because maybe some people haven't watched it, so I try to avoid it. But what I was saying again? I'm getting lost in my thoughts. Kuma. Oh, right. I was saying it's a pretty disturbing movie, Perfect Blue. Which I would say it's the case of a lot of work from Satoshi Kon, because he's a director that liked to disturb people. But Perfect Blue is a pretty disturbing movie. And so the soundtrack, which was pretty disturbing by itself, was really in tune with the movie. I mean, it was a really good soundtrack for it. So no wonder this type of soundtrack could work really well in a horror movie. It may have been an era for mind-break media. You're right, when you think about other anime that were we could call them Denpa anime, you know. There is all a specific genre of anime that is called Denpa. I'm not sure if I would classify Perfect Blue as a Denpa anime. I think it could be. I believe it could be classified as Denpa anime. But one of the most famous example would be Serial Experiments Lane. Lane, obviously. Like, Lane is pretty much the poster girl for Denpa anime, you know, and it was around that time too. I think Lane is 1999 or 2000, around that time, you know, pretty much. That would be an example. Many other anime, you know, like even from smaller production. For example, there was an anime called Malice Doll. I think this one, maybe you never heard about it or you didn't watch it because it's a more obscure anime. It's actually an anime movie, but this one is pretty much a Denpa anime too. And I believe Perfect Blue, you could classify it as a Denpa anime, but I love those type of anime very much. Great vibes, Kuma. I love it. So what I'm telling is, if you've never watched a Satoshi Kon movie, you should. And if you only watched 1 or 2 Satoshi Kon movies, I would recommend you to watch everything, Kuma. Like, you should watch everything from the piece of work of Satoshi Kon. He also directed, like, this one is fairly known if you're a JoJo enthusiast, but he directed an episode of the original OVA of JoJo, you know, because before the anime, the new anime adaptation by David Production for JoJo, they were OVA, Kuma, old school OVA, and Satoshi Kon actually directed one of those episodes. That's the one that looks like a PlayStation 1 FMV. I think I saw the first episode. Exactly, that's the one. That's the one. It's early CGI, early 3D CG, and believe it or not, I love it. I love it. I know that some people could get filtered by it, you know. This is really the type of anime that you shouldn't recommend to random people, you know. Especially someone who's just discovering anime, because it's the type of anime that is really, I would say it's for enthusiasts, you know. And specifically people that want to get into Denpa anime, the weird type of anime kuma, pretty much. But yes, Malice Doll is great. I think it is great. I love it, you know. It's so unique. It's such a unique anime, by the way. Such a unique anime. Let me see if I have the cover. Because I actually rewatched it recently too. Malice Doll. Damn. By the way, I just ate before because I was hungry. I was hungry, Kuma. Maybe this one. Why is it so small? Like here. This one, Malice Doll. This one, I know not a lot of people watched it. By the way, this one isn't made by Satoshi Kon, you know. This one is made by someone else. I actually forgot the name of the director, but actually the screenwriter, scenarist of the anime is more known. His name is Chiaki J. Konaka, or Chiaki Konaka, and is pretty much known for having written the story of Serial Experiments Lane, or Digimon Tamers, or The Bigot, another of my favorite anime. Like, he's a really great screenwriter, and I actually watched Malice Doll because I was already a big fan of Chiaki Konaka, especially after watching works like Lane that I really loved, after watching The Bigot, that is one of my favorite anime too. I love The Bigot. And Digimon Tamers, I really liked his work on Digimon Tamers. And so I actually watched Malice Doll and I loved it. It's really Chiaki Konaka core, if I could describe it like that, in the sense that if you're acquainted with the work of Chiaki Konaka, you would, I guess you could love it, you know. Even though I know some people aren't really into the looks of it, because it's a CGI anime, and it's an early CGI anime, and if you want to watch it, it's like the DVD releases of this anime are pretty low resolution. So it's pretty much watching an old CGI anime in an old resolution, small resolution, but if you get into it and you get into the vibe, it's a great one, Kuma. I love it. And so I wanted to show... Let me see. I love anime. I mean, I say it all the time, Kuma. And let me see if my browser doesn't die, by the way. If it doesn't. But yes, you're right that this one, this artwork is so iconic. I love it. This one, I love it. I love the style. To me, it's obviously one of the style reminiscent of Satoshi Kon, but it's also the Studio Madhouse style, which is pretty much my favorite studio, anime studio ever. If you ask Eureka what's her favorite anime studio, Madhouse. I love Madhouse, my favorite. Really top one. Top one would be Madhouse, because I love most of the work they did, especially between the period, like there is a specific period that goes from 98 which would be Cardcaptor Sakura, to 2011, which would be Hunter x Hunter 2011, like the second adaptation of Hunter x Hunter. And all this period, you could look at it, if you never watched the Madhouse anime that released during this time period, complete bangers. I would tell you that most of the anime and movies that they released between 98 and 2011 are bangers. They're great, and different type of stuff that you could watch, but I love it. But here is talking about the anime that they released in the 2000s, because even before that, like Madhouse is a pretty old studio, and even the movies that they were making before Cardcaptor Sakura, they made a ton of great stuff, For example, a movie that I really like is Ninja Scroll. I love Ninja Scroll, Kuma, That would be an example. So let me see. And so this is the one I wanted to show, because I wanted to show the poster of it, Kuma, because we were talking about it. Mosodai Renin, or Paranoia Agent. This one was directed by Satoshi Kon too, by the way. And really, I liked it. I really liked it too, this one. To me, it's a classic, I should rewatch it too, because I think that I've only rewatched Paranoia Agent once, I believe. I rewatched it with a friend of mine. So I guess that could deserve a rewatch, Kuma, because anyway, I love Satoshi Kon works so much, I could rewatch anything. But yes, I should rewatch it eventually, but great one. So all of these, I'm already yapping and yapping, but again, because I love yapping about anime, but the movie I was supposed to watch was Paprika. That again, oh, by the way, I shouldn't remove my alerts. This one, that I already watched many times, but I wanted to go with my mother and my brother, because it was a way for me to make them discover the movie, which for me is a classic too, It's not my favorite Satoshi Kon movie, but I love it, When I say it's not my favorite, it's not to say that I don't like it. I actually love all Satoshi Kon movies, Like I love everything Satoshi Kon made. I loved it, including the JoJo OVAs, like the JoJo OVA episode he directed. But I wanted to watch this one, and there was a screening yesterday morning, and there is another screening this Wednesday, but I couldn't get any tickets. Kuma. That was like the tickets, it got sold out so quick, which is crazy to me, because at first, it's the first time I'm going to these events, the Brussels Animation Film Festival, and so I asked first my mother and my brother if they were interested, because myself, I already watched, Paprika, I would still watch it in a movie theater, because as I've said, I didn't have a lot of experience, unfortunately, with anime movies, especially the classics, in a movie theater. And it's always different. Like, it's always cool to watch it in a movie theater. But I asked them, and they were interested. And then I went to the site to get the tickets. I checked yesterday's screening, like Thursday. I actually tried to get the tickets Thursday for the Saturday screening. Completely sold out, Kuma. Like, it was over, like no tickets. So I thought to myself, okay, this screening is sold out, but there is a second one. Maybe since it's Wednesday, so next week, like it wasn't even in a few days, it was next week. There are still tickets to take. I look the Wednesday screening, completely sold out, Kuma. I was really unlucky. I was unlucky, Kuma. It was immediately sold out. And the thing is, it wasn't the only anime movie that they were screening during these events. because including the one I've watched today and that I'm going to talk about a bit, like giving you my review, spoiler-less review, by the way, like, so don't worry about it if you plan to watch the movie, but they screen 7 anime movies. 6 anime movies released either in 2024, like the movie I've watched today, or 2023, and then there was a classic, Paprika, that obviously released in 2006. And Paprika was the only movie that was sold out days before, you know, like many days before. And I wouldn't lie, Kuba, I was a bit pissed at first. I was a bit pissed because I kind of looked it up about where they were going to screen the movie, because again, it's the first time I'm actually going to this event, and they're screening the movie. It's not in a movie theater per se, it's in a real theater, Kuma, you know, a real theater place, you know, the type of place where you have stage play, you know. It's not a movie theater, it's a theater. And so, as you can expect, the room is really small. It's a pretty small room, so there isn't a lot of seats if you want to watch the movie. And I think it's a weird choice, because actually they're screening the movies in 2 places. Some movies they're screening it in the theater, like I'm telling you, the small place where there are stage play, and other movies they are screening them in an actual movie theater, you know, so a bigger room actually. And for some reason they decided to screen Paprika in the small theater place, which to me is a baffling decision, because of all the movie, the most iconic one, you know, the most known one, the classic, is Paprika. So if I was the organizer myself, I would screen Paprika. Like, I wouldn't only do 2 screenings, I would probably do the double, so 4 or 5, and I would screen it on the bigger place, on the movie theater. They decided to screen it on the small theater, and that was a bad choice. That was a bad choice, Kuma. I don't understand. So this is the movie I couldn't watch. By the way, let me just take a bit of water because I'm starting to lose my voice, Kuma. I'm losing my voice. But yes, I couldn't get a ticket, even though I tried to get a ticket Thursday. But now I know that next year, because this festival happens every year, next year, when it's February, because it's always in February, I will look at the program as early as possible, and if there is a movie that I want to absolutely watch with my brother or my mother or my friends, I will get the tickets weeks in advance, you know. I don't know when they're opening the tickets, selling the tickets for this event, but if it starts weeks in advance, I will get the ticket in advance, that's for sure, because I wasn't expecting that. I'm yapping a lot, Kuma. Okay, so let me continue. The movie that I actually wanted to watch, that I went to watch today, I should say. So where's my... So I couldn't watch Paprika, and instead I went to watch this movie. This movie, I don't know if you heard about this movie, because it actually released in August 2024. I think there was a screening in the Annecy Festival, and if you don't know what's the Annecy Festival, it's an animation festival that happens every year in France. It's pretty famous, by the way, because oftentimes anime movies are actually getting screened for the first time at Annecy, you know. So let me just try to reduce the size of this big-ass poster, Kuma. But this is the movie I was watching, I went to watch today, which is called Kimi no Ilo, or The Colors Within. The Colors Within. I think it was that's the English title, right? Let me see. Because I know the Japanese title. Yes, The Colors Within, exactly. Kimi no Ido. This is the one I want to watch. That released in August 2024, but I think it had a screening in July at the Annecy Festival of the same year. And so it's a new movie, fairly recent movie. I never watched it, because it takes time for a movie to release on stream. I don't even know if this movie is on streaming yet, by the way. I don't know. Maybe it is, maybe not, I don't know, but it's a movie by Naoko Yamada. Naoko Yamada, Kuma. Maybe the name doesn't ring you a bell, but she's also one of the most famous and talented, I can say it, she's really talented anime director. So let me find a picture of Naoko Yamada. By the way, she's a pretty beautiful woman. You're going to see. I think she's pretty cute, Kuma. She could be my crush for anime directors, even though that I really like... she's not a director, she's a seiyuu, but I really like Maya Sakamoto. I think Maya Sakamoto is really cute, but let me see if I can find a good picture, Kuma. If my browser is loading... It's funny how my browser is struggling when I'm streaming, so I can't even imagine streaming a game like Monster Hunter Wilds on my potato laptop, Kuma. That would be a disaster. I think if I tried to start Monster Hunter Wilds on my laptop, it will explode, Kuma. Bagoosh, my laptop will die. I think genuinely my laptop would die if I tried to stream, to play and stream Monster Hunter Wilds. That would be a disaster, Kuma. For sure. This one is small. Isn't there a better picture, Kuma? Well, I guess this one is cool, because we see some of the other piece of works she did. Let me show you. Damn, I'm dropping frames too. I mean, Eureka is dropping frames, Kuma. So let me see. So this was Satoshi Kon. And this is Naoko Yamada, Kuma. Let me show you. Naoko Yamada. So she's the director. And as you can see, like first let's see what she did. She worked on many works from Kyoto Animation. You're probably acquainted with Kyoto Animation because it's one of the most famous anime studio, A lot of people know about Kyoto Animation. Great studio, by the way. One of my favorite studio. I told you that Madhouse, Studio Madhouse is my favorite studio ever. Top 1. I would put Kyoto Animation in my top 3, pretty much. I love Kyoto Animation a lot, I think my top 3 would be Madhouse, Sunrise, and Kyoto Animation, if I had to make a top 3, if you were curious, Kuma. But pretty much, this is Naoko Yamada. As you can see, she's a pretty cute woman, pretty fine woman, I think. I think she's cute. And she worked on many Kyoto Animation works. Those are the works, pretty much, she directed. She worked on K-On!, which is really iconic, the K-On! TV series. Everyone knows about K-On!, The moe anime, one of the peak moe anime. She worked on Tamako Market. By the way, when I say she worked, she directed. She was the director of those anime. She worked on Koe no Katachi and also on the Hibike Euphonium movie. And pretty much she worked also as an animator and sub-director of many Kyoto Animation movie, and Kyoto Animation TV series. Pretty much she was the golden girl, you know. I don't know if it's a word, you know. You know how we were talking about golden boy. I guess she was pretty much the golden girl of Kyoto Animation because she was really talented since the beginning. And any KyoAni work you could think about, she worked on it, pretty much. Any. So stuff like Canon, Air, Clannad, Haruhi, obviously, Hibike Euphonium, you name it. All those anime, Kyoto Animation anime, she was part of the staff. You know, she's one of the dream team. Usually, I'm talking about the KyoAni dream team. You know, which would be composed of people like Naoko Yamada, as I said, Tatsuya Ishihara, which is pretty much one of the most famous director from Kyoto Animation, and a ton of other people, you know. Yamakan too. Even though I know Yamakan is more controversial, pretty controversial figure, but I really like Yamakan. And yes, all of those people that worked on the series, you know. She worked on Air, Harui Suzumiya, Canon, Lucky Star, Moribito, Clannad, K-On!, Nishijo, obviously, Nichijo, Tamako Market, Free, Beyond the Boundary, Hibike Euphonium, Modern Love Tokyo, Episode 7, and obviously the K-On! Movie, the Tamako Market movie, A Silent Voice is our Koe no Katachi, pretty much our magnum opus in terms of movie, you know. Our best, like our most iconic TV series would be K-On!, then her most iconic movie would be A Silent Voice, or Koe no Katachi, that I would recommend, by the way. It's a great movie. And so, pretty much, the movie that I want to watch today, so Kimi no Ilo, or The Colors Within, was directed by Naoko Yamada Kuma. Pretty much. And to give you my review, I really liked it. I like this movie. So, just to put you into context, it's a movie without spoilers, by the way. I won't spoil you. Anything if you ever want to watch it. But it's a movie about a young teenager that attends a religious school, and actually a Christian school, Kuma, which is pretty interesting because you don't see a lot of a religious background in anime. So she's attending a Christian school, and she has it's not a trouble. Let me see the name again because it's pretty specific. I think it was called synesthesia. Yes, that's what she has. She has synesthesia, you know. You probably never heard about it, you know, or maybe you did. But what is synesthesia? Synesthesia is pretty much when your senses, you know, are mixed. Or damn, how could I describe it? But an example would be you feel feelings, senses, damn, that's hard to explain. You feel stuff that a normal human being wouldn't feel, usually. For example, like here, you know, we're listening to Toho music, you know, like Toho music. Someone who has synesthesia, for example, would be able to see colors by listening to a music. So for example, you're listening to this music and you will think, damn, I can see the color blue for this music. When I listen to this music, I see the color blue. Or another example, if you were seeing a friend of yours, you know, or another person, like for example, you're seeing your friend and you're like, damn, I'm seeing the color red, you know. So that would be an example or synesthesia. But that could also be, for example, when you're eating something, and by eating something, tasting something, you're hearing stuff, you know. For example, you're eating a hamburger and then you're hearing classical music, Kuma. Music to my ears. I mean, that sounds pretty funny when I think about it. But pretty much it's a mix of senses, you know. of sensory stuff. So for example, you're eating and then you hear something, or you're looking at someone or hearing a music and then you see a color. That's an example of synesthesia. And that's why the main character is seeing a ton of colors, because she has synesthesia. And it's a movie about, like I said, a teenager that attends a religious school, Christian school, and then she's making friends. As you can see in the poster, a guy and another girl. By the way, the main character is the pink-red girl here, which is named Tonko, by the way. She's making friends, and they happen to start a music band. Pretty much, that's what happens, because they have that in common. And that's pretty much the start of the movie, you know, the base of the movie. And it's a pretty feel-good movie, you know. It's one of the movies or anime that I would describe as a healing movie, Kuma. It's healing. You know what it is? Those healing anime that when you watch an anime and you feel healed, you know, you feel that you're getting healed because it is comfy, it feels nice to watch, it feels good, Kuma, you know. It's one of those movies. It's really a movie that after you watched it, you're happy, you know, you're smiling. That's, to me, the best way I could describe the feeling I had after watching Kimi no Ilo. I was relaxed, I was comfy, I was happy, I was actually glad to have watched this movie. And as I said, it's a movie directed by Naoko Yamada, and the studio isn't Kyoto Animation, because I believe this day Naoko Yamada is a freelance, you know. I don't know if she's a freelance director or if she's actually working for Science Salu these days, because Science Salu is the studio who produced this movie. Who produced this movie, but and by the way, it's the studio by Masaki Yuasa, which is pretty much another iconic anime director. But I will leave this one for another stream, because if I'm starting to talk about all the anime directors I love, we will never finish, Kuma. But pretty much, Naoko Yamada directed this movie, produced by Science Salu Studio, and the movie is beautiful, you know. In terms of animation and how it looks, 10 out of 10, you know, like what you could expect from a typical Kyoto Animation movie, but it's not Kyoto Animation this time, it's Science Salu, which is also a pretty good studio, you know, a recent studio that was founded by Masaki Yuasa, and really good, like making really good movies and anime. So in terms of production, animation, character acting, and the music, because obviously I was talking about a music band, you know, they form a music band. So this anime is about music too. Pretty good music. I loved it. So just for this reason, if you want to watch a good anime movie that feels good to watch, I would recommend it, you know, it's a pretty safe bet, you know, if you never watch it. Now, as you see, my review is 7.5 out of 10, which is a pretty good review for me, all things considered. Usually when I put more, like 7 or more than 7 out of 10, for me it's good, you know, it's good, which makes sense, because, for example, if you're in school, or high school, or uni, and you get 75 out of 10, you're happy. Because you passed, but you not only just passed, you passed with a pretty good grade, actually, you know. So 7.5, because, as I said, it's a good movie that feels good, really good to look at, good to watch. You feel happy after watching it. It really feels nice, but it's a pretty safe movie, if that makes sense. I would tell you that it's not the type of movie that you should go to watch if you expect crazy stuff to happen, you know. Like, for example, if you want to watch a thriller or an action movie or something like Perfect Blue, you know, as we talked before, it's totally the opposite. It's really a pretty comfy, feels good movie, I think it's pretty safe, you know. Like, why did I put, for example, 7.5 and not, for example, 8.5 or 8 or 9? It's because there isn't like a ton of stuff that happens per se. It's really the type of movie that you watch because the characters are likable, you like the relationship between the characters, and as I've said, the religious setting, because the teenager is actually attending, like Tonko, the main character, is actually attending a Christian school. So they're talking about Christian religion. Actually, they talk a bit about it, and it's not the main theme of the movie. Obviously, it's not a religious movie, but it's a movie that has a religious theme, which I think is really interesting, Kuma. So that's the interesting part of the anime, actually, that it's actually a Christian anime. But yes, besides that, it's a pretty safe movie. A movie that feels good to watch, really beautiful, really clean movie. That's odd. What do you mean? Do you mean it's odd because it's religious, Kuma? I mean, like I said, it's not a religious movie, you know, in the sense it's not a movie about Christianity, you know, like you shouldn't expect to go watch this movie and have whole the Bible being read to you, obviously, you know, it's not about religion. It's not. But one of the theme is religion, you know, but it's treated in a way that I really believe isn't controversial at all. Isn't controversial at all. I mean, even if yourself, you are a Christian, you know, like you are a Christian and you believe in God, and you watch this movie, there's nothing that will shock you or that you would be like, damn, what the fuck? Like, well, they're not respecting my religion. I mean, you know what I mean, Kuma? Like, you shouldn't expect that from this movie. It's a pretty good movie, actually. But I think it's interesting because I know thematics like religion obviously are controversial for people, but I think it's still one of the many themes you can use to make stories, Kuma, you know? Especially if you do it well. I mean, obviously it's you shouldn't do anything too crazy, you know, if you pick a religious background to a story or anime movie, especially if you don't want to shock people too much, unless the goal of your movie is to shock people, obviously. But still, I think it's pretty cool, you know? Like, I wish they were more series that weren't afraid to tackle a religious thematics. And I say this, I'm not a religious person myself, you know? I think I never talked about that before, Kuma, but Eureka isn't really religious person. I got a Christian upbringing, you know, my mother is Christian, and my grandmother is Christian too, and she was the type of Christian, she was going to the church every Sunday. All of her family are like really big Christians, obviously, so I got a Christian upbringing, but I'm not a religious person myself, you know, like I understand all the symbolism and the references of the Christianity and I know a fair bit of the Bible, Kuma, but besides that, I'm not a religious person. But still, I think it's interesting. I can't think of other Japanese media promoting Christian values. Yes, it's pretty rare, Kuma. It's pretty rare. That's true. Because when you think about it, usually, you a yapper. No, you a yapper. I mean, I do yap, but okay, it's true. I yap a lot, Kuma. I'm yapping a lot, Kuma, but I love to yap, especially when it's about anime, Kuma. I love anime. But yes, we were talking about anime with Christian values. Not a lot. Not a lot, because obviously Japanese anime, especially when they go the religious route, it's more about Buddhism or Taoism, you know, like both being Asian, Japanese, or Chinese religions, you know. Christianity, even though there are Christians in Japan, obviously there are Christians in Japan, it's not as told. I know there was an anime, let me see. There was an anime about the Vatican, actually, but I don't think I watched it. Oh, and recently, okay, no, I just typed Vatican anime and I forgot about that guy. They made a mascot, that's true. I forgot about that guy. How could I forget? How could I forget, Kuma? Let me show you. This showing a lot of pictures today. This guy, do you remember this guy? You don't remember this guy. He was all around social media. Luce. You don't remember this guy, Kuma. You don't remember this guy. It's, I think, was it the mascot they did for the Vatican? That's crazy. That's crazy. Yeah, she's a girl. She's a girl. She's a lolly, Kuma. She's a lolly. I've never seen this guy. I mean, it's a girl, but... I mean, it's true. It is indeed true that the design is a bit ambiguous, you know. She almost feels like a gender neutral or... what's the other word again? I forgot the word. I forgot. I forgot, Kuma. The Whip Catholic mascot, exactly. I mean, I do wonder though if they really, like when they conceived this character, I do wonder if they wanted to make an anime character. Maybe they just wanted to make a cute character. They did it, and then since the character feels like a chibi anime character, all the weebs got crazy about it, you know. All the weebs got crazy about it. Which I'm not surprised because cute character, Kuma. Yes, I forgot the word. I forgot about it, but yes. Are you thinking of Trinity Blood? It's true there. I almost dropped down my controller because my controller is on my desk, Kuma. It's true that there is Trinity Blood. And there is also Hellsing. Hellsing 2. Evangelion and other shows use biblical themes, of course. But Evangelion... I knew someone was going to mention Evangelion, by the way, Kuma. I'm an Evangelion expert, by the way. Evangelion is pretty specific case because Evangelion obviously use Christian symbolism, obviously the cross, the characters, how they name them, even the name of the anime, Neon Genesis Evangelion, pretty much. You have Genesis and Evangelion in the title, which are both biblical terms, you know. But in Evangelion, Evangelion is not a Christian anime, you know. Like Evangelion is an example of an anime that uses Christian symbolism, but isn't a Christian anime at all. I would tell you that this anime that I watched, this anime movie, Kimi no Ilo, is more of a Christian anime that Evangelion is. And Evangelion uses way more Christian symbolism because it goes crazy about it, because Hideaki Anno thought it looked fucking cool, and also is a big fan of how could I forget that? The tokusatsu. How is it called again? Why do I have a blank now? Let me see. I hate when I have a blank. Maybe it's because I'm still feeling a bit tired, Kuma. Maybe it's because I'm a bit tired, Kuma. Kuma. Yes, Ultraman, obviously. How could I forget? Ultraman. Ultraman. Ultraman 7. Ultraman. If you watch the I don't know if it was the first series, because I actually watched the series it was inspired from, but there are a lot of scenes in Ultraman that serves as is inspiration for the symbolism of Evangelion. Because the true story about Evangelion is Evangelion, if you want to put it cynically, or if you want to put it like a fun way to talk about Evangelion, it's that Evangelion is pretty much Hideaki Anno's Ultraman fanfiction. Like, really, if you want to be a bit cheeky about it, you could say that Evangelion, notably the first series, Neon Genesis Evangelion, is a fanfiction of Ultraman. Because pretty much the creator of Ultraman, Eiji Tsuburaya, is a Christian. He's a true Christian, by the way. You know, he's Christian, I think. Or was it? Yes, I think it was Tsuburaya, yeah, right? Pretty sure of it. I think he's Christian. And that's why when he made Ultraman, he used a lot of Christian symbolism in the series. And since Hideaki Anno loves tokusatsu, you know, he loves Ultraman, he loves Gridman, he loves obviously Godzilla, like everything you can think about. He watched everything. He's a big tokusatsu nerd. Ultraman is pretty much his favorite toku, or one of his favorite toku, and when he made Evangelion, he took a lot of inspiration from Ultraman, and in Ultraman you already have a lot of Christian symbolism, so it got transferred into Evangelion, which is why you have all these Christian imagery in Evangelion. But it's only symbolism. It's not, I mean, it's symbolism, but it's not even religious symbolism. It's only in the anime because Hideaki Anno thought it looked fucking sick in Ultraman. And so he was like, okay, I'm going to use it in Evangelion. Let me make an anime version of Ultraman, but this time I'm gonna use all those cool shots I've watched in Ultraman, you know. So, hey, look, it's Eureka on TV. Oh, I just noticed you, Bolisu. I just noticed. I'm yapping so much now. I don't even pay attention to the chat. I think it's because both Volios and you, Bolisu, you are red names. You are red names. So I thought you looked the same, Kuma. You all look alike. You all look alike, Kuma. Wait, why on the nude? I am not nude. I am not. I mean, I guess I could remove my clothes here, but I'm pretty sure I would get banned. I mean, you can get banned on Twitch if you show this part, you know, if you show this part on the side. I'm not even talking about the crotch. I'm talking about if you show a bit part of the upper leg, you could get banned on Twitch. So if I showed my boobies, damn, that would be over, Kuma. I remember the Weeb Catholic mascot. I think they wanted to do an anime aesthetic specifically. When I was a kid, I was scared of Ultraman. Yes, tokusatsu series, especially earlier one, they can be a bit disturbing. I do agree. And I'm not a big toku nerd. I tried to get more into toku in the past, and I want to watch more of it actually. But yes, when you're not used to tokusatsu, it can feel a bit weird. There's no deep meaning, it's mostly aesthetic. Exactly. Let me see if I can find an example to show you what I mean. Because I think there's actually a pretty illustrative example. Oh, I think it was the one. If it loads, Kuma. Let me see. I don't know if it's the best picture, but I guess I could get that one. I think this one is for the new movies. Trying to find a good picture to show what I mean. Then the movie didn't have fan service. Are you talking about this one? Right next to me, the one I watched, Kimi no Ilo. There is no fan service. There is no fan service. But I would tell you, it's not because it has a Christian theme, you know. It's not even because of that. It's just that if you're used with Naoko Yamada style of direction and stories and stuff, it's not the type of stories or anime where you will find fan service, you know. Those are the type of anime that are, I like to call them healing anime, you know. They're anime that feels good, because I talked a bit about my review earlier today, and since you just came here, Bolisu and Volios, I guess I could repeat it, but pretty much I thought that Kimi no Ilo was a pretty good movie, because it's the type of movie that really feels good to watch, you know, like the movie is really well produced, looks really beautiful art direction, animation, the music was cool too, and it's really the type of movie, after you watched it, you're smiling, you feel good, you know, it's really the type of movie, but it's a pretty safe movie, you know, like you shouldn't go get here like to watch Kimi no Ilo and expect, for example, something like Perfect Blue or Ghost in the Shell or the Evangelion movie, since we're talking about it, because it's not really like, not a lot of stuff happens, but it feels good. It's really a healing movie, you know. Like we were talking about it yesterday, Bolisu, when we were talking about anime, you know. I talked about Onimai, I talked about Flying Witch, you know, those type of anime that are healing. Like those type of slice of life anime that feel good to watch, you know. There may be a tiny bit of drama at times, but it's really just a healing movie. That would be my spoilerless review of the anime, because as I said, I won't give you any spoilers, guys. Don't worry about it. Like, no spoilers. Not giving spoilers. If I give spoilers about something I talk about, you know, because I could do specific anime streams in the future. If I'm talking about spoilers, usually I will reference it on the title. On the title of my stream, obviously, Kuma. So here, since it's a pretty recent movie that released in 2024, and I'm not even sure, I don't think it's on streaming yet, no spoilers, so don't worry about it. I like Nondon Bioli, but I did cry like 4 times. That's another great example, Kuma. That's another great example. Nondon Bioli. Exactly. Exactly, Kuma. By the way, I was still looking by my picture, because there was a better example, it's just that I can't find it. I think I found about it in Reddit threads. Let me see. By the way, hope you're doing good, Volios and Bolisu. I'm doing really good today, Kuma. It felt nice. Again, I was saying earlier, oh, this is a director, by the way, Naoko Yamada. She directed K-On!, the Koe no Katachi movie, Tamako Market, the Hibiki Euphonium movie, and great director. And pretty much she worked on every Kyoto animation classic you could think about. So Canon, Air, Clannad, Haruhi Suzumiya, Lucky Star, Nichijou, you name it. She was part of the staff. She was part of the staff. So yes, that could be an example of the type of works she's into, you know, K-On! And Tamako Market. That would be a good older example that I could give. Oh, this is Perfect Blue. But let me show you again, since you're here. This was actually the movie I wanted to watch at first. Paprika, a movie that I already watched from Satoshi Kon. Like, I watched it many times, but I wanted to go to the screening with my mother and my brother because I wanted to introduce them to the movie. But as I've said, I couldn't get a ticket. It was sold out. The screening was Saturday. There was another screening Wednesday. I tried to get tickets on Thursday, so a few days before. It was sold out, and I was a bit triggered because actually they screened Paprika in a small theater. You know, it's not even a movie theater; it's a theater. By theater, I mean the place where you have a stage play. You know, for example, like Shakespeare or Hamlet. You know, this type of place. So it's a pretty small room, and to me, it's baffling that they decided to screen such an iconic movie, because of all the movies they're screening during the Brussels Animation Film Festival, Paprika is obviously the most iconic of the lot. But I don't know why they screen it in a small theater. Doesn't make sense, Kuma. So let me see. Damn, I wish I could find the picture again. Because it's actually a pretty nice one, Kuma. I can imagine the vibe then. Movie is called Perfect Blue is actually kind of cyan. I see what you mean, Bolisu. I love Perfect Blue, by the way. I love it. I say it all the time. Perfect Blue. You should watch it, you know. That obviously Satoshi Kon. Do I still have the picture? Oh, this is Malice Doll. This is Mosodai Renin. This is Luce. I'm talking about Satoshi Kon. The one and only, Kuma. Damn. Big picture, Kuma. Satoshi Kon. One of the best, most iconic, and my favorite anime director, probably. I think you should watch everything from Satoshi Kon. Everything. You should watch everything. So obviously, Paprika, Mosodarinin, and Perfect Blue, and any other work. Satoshi Kon is great. It's such a tragedy that he died so young. He died really young. He was only 40 when he died. I watched Perfect Blue and Paprika, but it was so many years ago, I don't even remember the plot. I just remember some moments. Which I can totally understand, by the way, Boisuchi, because Satoshi Kon movies are the type of movies you have to watch them many times to understand them. Because especially movies like Perfect Blue or Paprika, they can be mindfucky at times, you know. For example, when I watched Perfect Blue for the very first time, I was so confused. I was mind blown, you know. I was confused. When the movie finished, I was, damn, this movie is fucking sick, but I'm not sure I understand everything. I should rewatch it eventually. And that's how I ended up rewatching pretty much all Satoshi Kon movies. So, Perfect Blue, Paprika, Tokyo Godfathers, all of those movies, I rewatched them many times. Because Satoshi Kon is one of those directors that made movies that are the type of movies you want to rewatch them, you know? You want to rewatch them. Because they're cool, like they're great movies, but also because you want to understand what happens. Kuma Kuma. Okay, this is the image I was looking for, but why is it so small? What if I... Oh, there's a TikTok, but I hate TikTok, Kuma. Why is it on TikTok? TikTok is for Zoomers, Kuma. Even though I should eventually make a TikTok, that's for sure. But yes, I would recommend you to eventually... You could rewatch Perfect Blue, but I told you, Bolisu, that I mean, we talked about it yesterday, but you could start with Ghost in the Shell, the 95 movie. You should watch Ghost in the Shell. I'm actually shocked you haven't watched it yet. Like, you should watch it. Ghost in the Shell is a banger, Kuma. I love Ghost in the Shell. Maybe I got it in a folder. Eureka dancing pala pala on TikTok. Damn, I could do that. I mean, I like to dance actually, you know. It's not about the dances, you know. I mean, I don't really mind shorts or videos of people dancing because they're just having fun, Kuma. They're just having fun, it's okay. But on TikTok, I mean, you know what I mean. You know what I mean? There are some videos and shorts that are, you don't understand what happens. It's just baffling. No matter the topic, you know, when on TikTok I watched anime videos, it's edits of shonen anime or any other type of anime. They make edits on TikToks, and by edits, I'm not talking about AMVs. Do you remember about AMVs, anime music video, the golden age that they used to share on YouTube and Nico Nico? Those videos were great. The videos they make on TikTok, like anime edit, aren't AMVs. It's the most stoned stuff I've ever watched, you know. I'm actually baffled that people enjoy that. I'm actually baffled. Linkin Park AMV of Death Note, exactly, that's an example. Or Dragon Ball, a ton of Dragon Ball AMVs. Those ones were cools because there were editing involved. People tried to synchronize the anime scenes with the music, so you get really cool stuff. On TikTok, it's short video, short anime edits, and it's, I feel like I'm losing IQ points when I watch it. I'm already pretty smart, Kuma, you know. I'm a pretty smart scientist, obviously, but when I watch TikTok, those TikTok videos, anime edits, I feel like I'm becoming dumber. Like, really. That's, I don't know. I think it's too weird for me. I mean, not weird, but it's just that they do a weird type of edit where they pick quick scenes that they edit it in a way that it goes really fast. They zoom a lot, zoom, and then zoom backwards. They put a weird ass filters. The filters they use on TikToks are horrendous, and it doesn't look like the anime anymore. That's what I don't like about anime TikToks. Let me see in my folder. Evangelion. I'm still looking for it. I mean, if I don't find it, oh, maybe here, right? I got some links. So let me get water again. Because I really did yap a lot. And what about this one? Damn, I'm thirsty. I guess I could just show you this one. That would be an example of what I mean. I know they were a better one, but that's an example. This is specifically for the rebuild movies, you know. But as you can see, when you watch anything Evangelion related, directed by Hideaki Anno, a lot of references coming from Ultraman. Pretty much, you know, like the symbols specifically, they're coming from Ultraman. But there's actually a better picture, you know, where, because, you know, in Evangelion, there are a lot of crosses, you know, like crosses and stuff. If you watch Ultraman, there's a ton of crosses too, you know, if you watch Ultraman. Let me see if I can find it. kuma would be that one. I guess that one could be... Oh, that one. I think I found it, guys. I think I found it. If it loads, because again, my browser is shading its pants because I'm streaming. So there is this one. Okay, didn't load. And that one, I guess, would be a better example. Like, I mean, here you already get a pretty good example of what I mean, you know? So save. Here. Here. And then, let me show you. We just replace by this one. Nani? Where's the picture? Oh, it's small. Okay, there's this one and that one. So all the crosses that you can see in okay, this one in Evangelion. Let me show you this one first. All those crosses, it's coming from Ultraman, actually. Like, even the specific scene, I wish I could find the specific shot in Evangelion, you know. It's so weird that I can't just find it like that when I type on Google. But if you look at, if you watch Ultraman, you will see this type of stuff all the time, you know. Like crosses, like this and stuff happening that would makes you think about Christianity, because the creator of Ultraman is actually Christian, you know. And since Hideaki Anno loves Ultraman, you get all of the stuff in the anime. Like here, it's another example with the recent movies, the Eureka Rebuild, damn. I wish I could make a Eureka Rebuild, Kuma. We should make a Eureka Rebuild. But I was saying Evangelion Rebuild movies. You can see it here. Nice too. I'm glad I found it. So to get back into topic, so about Kimi no Ilo, because that was the main topic I was, yes, this one, talking about. Yes, I would recommend the movie. I would recommend it to you. 7.5 out of 10, because to me it's not the best Naoko Yamada movie. It's pretty good, but it's no Koe no Katachi, or a silent voice, you know. If you haven't seen a silent voice, I would recommend you to watch this one first, which is really her magnum opus, at least related to anime movies, you know. Wait, do I still have the... Okay, I still have it. So the third one, you know, like down left, Koe no Katachi. It's pretty much her magnum opus. This movie, I would tell you, it's a 10 out of 10 movie, because it's great. It's really great. Like, I won't spoil anything if you haven't watched it. I won't spoil it, so don't worry about it, guys. No spoilers. I won't spoil anything regarding Koe no Katachi, but I can tell you that you should watch it. You can watch it, and you can read the manga too. You can read the manga too. Like, both are my recommendation. But the movie is great. The movie is our magnum opus. So she worked on that. But this movie... By the way, what is this? Like, there's something... maybe it's this. Okay, it's okay. Like, OBS was doing weird stuff, but now I fixed it. But this movie I watched today, Kimi no Ilo, or The Colors Within, it's pretty great too, you know. Like, it's a pretty good movie. I loved it, you know. It's a movie that will make you smile. It's really the type of movie that will make you smile. It's just that it's not the movie that you should watch expecting for crazy stuff to happen, you know. To me, it's the movie that you should watch if you're in the mood for a healing anime. So let's say, for example, you've watched a lot of series, like series with dark stuff happening, you know, TV series, or anime with serious theme, like for example seinen anime or thriller anime or dramas, you name it, you know, you watch a ton of serious stuff, and then you're in the mood for something a bit more lighthearted, you know. something a bit more chill, comfy, you name it. That's a great movie for you to watch. You know? This movie, I think, you would be really like, if you're not leaving the theater with a smile on your face, I think your heart is broken, Kuma. I think you got a broken heart to watch after A Silent Voice. Then exactly, exactly. That's how I would recommend it. You know, if you want to get acquainted with Naoko Yamada works, especially her movies, you can start with A Silent Voice, Koe no Katachi, and then you can get into Kimi no Ilo or The Colors Within, which is the English name, Kuma. And I'm not sure, I don't think it's on streaming yet. Maybe it is, or maybe it released recently, I don't know, but it will release eventually on streaming anyway. And even if you don't watch it on streaming, if you don't watch it on streaming, Kuma, I mean, you know, there are other ways to watch anime, Kuma, you know? There are other ways to watch them. I mean, I won't talk about it on Twitch because that wouldn't be really legal, I guess, but you could send me a DM if you're ever looking for an anime, Kuma, you know? There are other ways to watch anime besides streaming, obviously. But yes, I really loved it. A Christian anime, funny to think about, you know? I think this anime is more of a Christian anime than Evangelion, obviously. Evangelion isn't a Christian anime, you know? Like, even with all the Christian symbolism, it's not about religion at all, you know? This anime has a religious theme. It's not the main theme, you know? So don't get worried about, damn, Eureka is actually recommending us an anime about religion, about zealots and people getting converted to... It's not that at all, you know? It's not that at all, Kumai, like, you know? The religious stuff is really for the background, you know? And I think it's really interesting that there is animes like that, but don't get too crazy, you know, like if you expect a crazy anime about people fighting for religion and for the pride of the Christians, because we have to kill all the heretics that aren't Christians, we should kill them, because only Christians matters. It's not that at all. Eureka recommending the word of Jesus, of course. I believe I was actually lying. I mean, I told you that I wasn't a religious person, but that was a lie, Kuma. That was a lie. I do believe in someone. Let me show you. Let me show you, Kuma. I said I wasn't a religious person, but that's a lie. That's a lie. I lied, Kuma. Let me see. I got so many folders on my PC. I believe, oh, this one is a good one. In the Church of Haluhism. This is my goddess, Kuma. This is what I believe in Haluhi. This is my goddess, Kuma. So I am indeed a religious person. I was lying. It's just that my religion is a bit, let's say it's a bit uncommon, but I do believe in the Church of Haluhism. I love this word, Kuma. Haluhi. By the way, I think it's a pretty cool looking illustration because it's inspired by the ending, like the iconic ending of Haruhi Suzumiya, but they made it kind of like the windows that you can find on churches. It's so cool looking. I love it. I love it, Kuma. This is my religion. So I am a religious person, but not the religion you could expect, you know. Kuma Kuma. Nice. So what I was saying then? All right, I think I thought pretty much I had to say, I mean, everything I had to say about the movie, pretty much, because again, I won't spoil anything. I think that's really is the type of movie you should watch when you want something lighthearted to watch, and yes, it's a good movie. It is a good movie. What I wanted to say too, by the way, let me take some water again, by the way, because I'm really yapping a lot. I'm really yapping a lot, Kuma. I saw it in a theater. Exactly. Movie theater. Actually, a theater, not a movie theater, Kuma. Let me show you. Actually, I could show you how it looks. Because I think I could find a picture on the internet, Kuma. But yes, I did watch it in a theater, Volios, but a true theater, not a movie theater, like a theater where you have stage plays, you know. So think about Shakespeare, Hamlet, you know, those type of places, theater, like true theater. So the room was actually pretty small, which is why I got kind of triggered that they decided to to screen Paprika in this type of places, because it's too small to watch a movie like that. You know, so many people would want to watch Paprika, and so unless you get the tickets, I guess weeks in advance, you're getting fucked. My theater is so small. Exactly, Kuma. Okay, I only found this picture, but I was getting stoked for Eureka's missionary arc. What do you mean, Kuma? It can mean many things. I mean, who knows? You know, I'm a menhela sometimes, you know, like Eureka is menhela, so if you catch me in a weird day, in a weird type of day for Eureka, I could start spouting crazy stuff on Twitter, I guess. I guess it could happen, who knows? Are you a true disciple? Did you sincerely watch the end? I did. I watched it in airing, by the way. You know that iconic airing when people were posting about it on the anime board on 4chan? It was actually my earlier memories are of 4chan and the anime board. I think I started to post a bit earlier than that, but I did. Schizo post Sunday. Exactly. Weird. Like I feel like some picture aren't loading for some reason. I guess I did post some schizo things in the past, but nothing too crazy. To be honest with you guys, I'm talking about that again, you know, because some event happened recently where I actually lost a friend. I mean, we weren't close friends, by the way, you know, it was more someone that I knew by my VTubing activities, but they pretty much completely ghosted me for my take about the new Vocaloid song, about the Loli character, you know, Kai Yuki, and pretty much the fact that I was posting about Lolicon and Loli Show. But to me, it's so baffling. Like, I posted crazy stuff all the time on social media since I started VTubing, even as Eureka version 1. So to me, it's quite funny that it's the type of stuff where they were like, okay, I'm tired of Eureka. Fuck you, I'm leaving. I'm not even talking to you. Like, to me, it's so funny that of all the things it's this one. Great picture, by the way. I think this picture could... So it was a type of place, actually. Okay, it's so small. Like, even the picture is so small. Even the picture is so small. But you know, it's kind of like... You see it. It's the type of place where you watch stage play, usually, you know. Like, for example, if you watch someone doing Shakespeare plays, like Hamlet or the other plays, that's the type of place where I watched the movie. Crazy. Yes, crazy, but more weird than crazy, because that person... They knew me, they knew what I was posting, you know, on Twitter, you know. It was actually one of the people, should I say, that were actively interacting with me on social media. You know what I mean? Because you could say that, for example, if it was, let's say, some person that wasn't really acquainted with my social media posting, and then someday discovered it and was like, what the fuck, what Eureka, like what is Eureka tweeting about? Like, I wasn't aware of that. I'm leaving, you know, I wasn't aware of that. But it wasn't even this. It wasn't even this. It was a person that was really one of the people that was actively engaging with me on social media. So they knew what I was tweeting about, you know, because obviously it's not the first time I actually tweeted about lolly, you know, lolly stuff or lolly related stuff or even other stuff, you know, fan service, lewd anime pictures, horny posting, you name it, you know. So yes, that was kind of weird, more weird than crazy. But yes, pretty much that was the place where I watched the movie Kuma. And so what I wanted to tell you now, because, okay, let me drink because I haven't drank. Ah, I was thirsty, Kuma. I was. All right. I'm actually going to watch another movie this week. I mean, the week starting tomorrow. That's what I think, because I was curious, actually, at first, when I got triggered, because I didn't manage to get tickets for Paprika. I was like, you know how Eureka is, you know, especially my friends, they know me, you know, when I get triggered, I'm like, okay, fuck this shit, I don't want to do it. I don't want to do it. It doesn't make any sense. Why did they decided to screen Paprika in such a small theater? I'm pissed. I don't want to do anything with this event. I'm leaving, you know. At first I was like that. And then I was looking at the program, you know, of all the movies they were screening, and that's how I saw that they were screening the new Naoko Yamada movie, Kimi no Ilo. So I was like, okay, I could still try to watch this movie, you know. I couldn't watch Paprika with my mother and brother, but I could watch the movie. Actually, I went alone. I went alone because today my mother wasn't available and my brother wasn't available either because he was in his jiu-jitsu club, you know, because he's doing jiu-jitsu, and it was right during the screening of this movie. So I went alone, but that was pretty cool, you know. Like even though the place is small, it's pretty comfy. So then before streaming, like today when I went back from the movie, I looked at the other movies and there's another one that I'm going to watch because I was like, okay, maybe I should try another one because there are some of the movies that I haven't watched. And the movie is, let me see if I can find a cover. By the way, it's pretty funny. I said I was going to stream Sonic 2 after my review, but I've been yapping so much. I think I will only do that, you know, talking about anime, and then I will stop because I don't feel like playing Sonic right now, but that was cool. Is there the English, looking for the English poster, if I can find it. Oh, I guess this one is in English too. It's just like the Japanese title is in big too. Okay. So the movie I'm going to watch next, by the way, and I'm going to make a review too, this one. I haven't seen this movie either. I think this movie released in 2023. This one released in 2023, but I haven't watched it. And it's called Toto-chan. It is called Toto-chan, the little girl at the window, you know. I don't know what is it about, you know. I only know about the poster because oftentimes when I go to watch movie, I'm kind of like Bolisu, you know, because Bolisu told me about it before, that he likes to watch stuff and to play games without getting, like, looking too much about it. I'm the same. But the only thing I heard is that it's a pretty good movie too. It's kinda underrated. Not a lot of people have watched this movie for some reason, but from the ratings I've seen, it's actually a bit more rated than this one, you know. Even though this one recently released, so I guess the rating could still change. But I heard good things about this one, Toto-chan. And I think it's actually inspired by... let me see. Let me see. Thank you for the follow, Westy. Thank you very much. I hope you're having a nice day. Eureka's feeling pretty good today, Kuma. Talking about the anime, yapping about anime. I love anime, by the way. I love it, Kuma. Thank you. I'm doing really good, Kuma. I'm doing really good. Really good, you know. And that's great. I love to stream when I feel good, you know. I started a bit later today because I went to watch a movie earlier today, which was actually this one, Kimi no Ilo. I went to watch this movie and I had fun. It was a pretty entertaining movie. And then I went back home, I ate, I took my shower, and then I felt like streaming. You know, I streamed a bit later than usual, but I still felt like streaming because I'm feeling good, Kuma. But I was talking about this one. This one is the next movie I'm going to watch at the theater, actually. And from what I know, it's inspired by inspired by an autobiographical memoir written by Japanese television personality and UNICEF Goodwill Ambassador Tetsuko Kuroyanagi. First time I'm hearing about this, by the way. You know, I wasn't even aware that it was inspired by a real work. It's a book published in 1981 and became an instant bestseller in Japan. So that's really interesting. Actually, it hypes me. Like, by reading this, I'm even more hyped to watch this movie, because usually anime movies that are inspired by old stories, whether it is Western tales or Japanese, old Japanese stories, I think they're pretty cool, Kuma. Like, for example, all those Nippon animation works that they did that were adaptation of real works, you know, real tales and stuff. I think those anime, whether they are the movies they made or TV series, are really good movie. So I think this one could be a hidden gem. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe this one I will enjoy it even more than Kimi no Ilo. So I'm really excited to watch this one. I'm really excited. I think it's gonna be this Thursday that I'm going to watch it. I mean, I bought the ticket already, you know, like don't get worried. I got the ticket this time because I didn't want to get fucked again. Kuma, to get fucked again. I wanted to watch Paprika, but it was sold out. It was sold out, Kuma. But again, fortunately, Paprika is a movie that I watched many times, you know. It's actually a movie that I wanted to show to my brother and mother. It's more about introducing them to Satoshi-kon, you know. In my case, I already watched Paprika many times, so it's not a big loss for me, you know. I was just a bit disappointed because I like showing good movies to my friends and family. But yes, this one could be pretty cool. Let me see when it's airing. Let me see. I think that would be it for this festival. Actually, I could tell you about the movies that they were this festival, the anime movies. Let me see again the program. So filters, feature films. So there was actually a sneak peek of Lazarus, which is the new TV series directed by Shinichiro Watanabe. My words, Kuma. He's got such a complicated name to pronounce. Shinichiro Watanabe, who is a pretty iconic anime director too, you know. He worked on Cowboy Bebop and Samurai Champloo, you know, great anime. And they actually going to air a sneak peek of this, but this one I guess I'm going to watch it on streaming. There was Paprika, obviously, the movie by Satoshi Kon, but this one, as I've said, I couldn't get tickets because I was too late, Kuma. There is one that is called Ghost Cat Anzu. Ghost Cat Anzu. I guess I could have tried to watch this one too, but there wasn't really a screening that was at a good time. It's actually pretty late, like past 9 p.m. And usually I don't like to watch movies too late, so I guess I'm gonna skip it, you know, or I'm gonna watch it on stream too. There was also, let me see, Mononoke, the Mononoke movie. And by Mononoke, I'm not talking about Princess Mononoke, you know, I'm not talking about the Hayao Miyazaki movie. I'm talking about the other Mononoke, you know. They made a Mononoke TV series that is different from the Princess Mononoke movie, by the way, like completely different style and stuff. And then they made movies about the TV series. And actually, it's part 2 of this movie. I haven't watched part 1, so which is why I'm not going to watch this one, but eventually I'm gonna watch those movies too. The Colors Within, obviously, the one that I watched today. And Toto-chan. This is the one I'm going to watch. I'm going to watch this Thursday, Kuma. At, I think it was at 1 p.m. or maybe a bit later, but it's not too late. I'm going to watch it. And I think I'm going to do it to do the same as today, guys. You know, like after I watch the movie, I'm going to stream either the same day or a day after this one. I'm going to make you my review of Toto-chan and to tell you if it's a hidden gem that you should watch or if it's, I don't know, overrated. Even though it's not overrated because I never heard about this movie actually, you know. I think this movie is pretty well unknown. Hello, Gila-kun. Hello, hello. Hope you're doing fine. I'm doing really good today, Kuma. Having fun, talking about anime. I'll be waiting for the review. I'm going to give you the review, guys. I'm going to give you the reviews. This festival is actually happening every year. That's what's pretty cool about it. But yes, I'm going to give you this review because anyway, even if you can't watch those movies in movie theaters close to where you live or they're just don't screen it, all those movies eventually release in streaming. And as I've said, there's also other ways to see those movies, Kumas. But you just have to send me a DM. Usually I can tell you how to watch them. But yes, I'm going to make my review. I'm fine, just hunt some monsters in the new game. Obviously, MH Wilds is all the rage right now, Kuma. I heard it's good. I heard the game is pretty good, actually. Just a shame that it's not very well optimized. I heard that the game is good and fun to play, but for some people it's not optimized. I wouldn't be able to play it on my computer, by the way, on my laptop. If I ever play it, it would probably be on a PS5 or not before I get my new build, Kuma. But yes, so I heard 2 complaints about it, like the optimization and apparently some people that are complaining about the cutscenes being too long. But this one I feel like is the case for most games nowadays, especially AAA games. But other than that, I heard the game is a banger. I heard it's pretty good, Kuba. Pretty good. I still want a drink. Yes, it's got optimization problems on PC, but on console it runs good. Good to know. Good to know. Maybe I will get it on console on PS5 because, believe it or not, I got a PS5, Kuma. I bought it with my brother. We did split the budget, and that's how I got a PS5. Because if I had to buy it just myself, I think I wouldn't have bought it, Kuma. Especially since, and again, I got triggered by that too. But when I bought my PS5, it was after they increased the price by 50 euros. And I guess $50 in America. Or maybe they didn't increase it in America. I think that was something bullshitty, like they increased the price in Europe, in Japan, and in the rest of the world, but for some reason in America, I mean in the United States, the price didn't change, Kuba. That was bullshit. Sonny, you're Japanese, you're not USA, I mean you're not American. Damn, thirsty, Kuma. I have to drink when I yap, otherwise my voice is dying. It's fun so far. Nice, nice. Yes, I heard it's good, but Capcom, it's pretty good at making games. Since pretty much Resident Evil 2. Even before that, I guess they had a period, a small period before Resident Evil 2 Remake, where their games were more hit or miss, but since Resident Evil 2, I guess most of their games are pretty good. We got some graphic settings on console, and also I can recommend balance mode. I see, naruhodo ne. They're on a roll since Eri 7. Yes, that's true, I said Eri 2 Remake, but already Eri 7, Biohazard Resident Evil 7, was already the renaissance, was already like a banger, was a banger. Great game, I loved it. I loved it. The only Resident Evil games I don't like are Code Veronica and Eri 5. Those two ones. Some people are talking about Resident Evil 6, and it's weird because I never heard about Resident Evil 6. It doesn't exist. I mean, those people are crazy. There are some people on crazy pills. They're taking crazy pills and talking about a game named Resident Evil 6. But this game doesn't exist. I've never heard of Resident Evil 6. This game doesn't exist, Kuba. They made Resident Evil 5, and then they made Resident Evil 7. And why did they did the skip? It's because they wanted to use the same gimmick as Microsoft when they went from Windows 8 to Windows 10. They thought, okay, let's skip a number because it's fun. Fun gimmick. Eri 5 is really just a shooting fest, not gonna lie. I agree. Eri 5, the only thing I give credits to Resident Evil 5 is the co-op is really fun. It is a co-op game, you know. If you wanna play Resident Evil 5, I think you should play it in co-op, I believe. Because it's a game balanced for a co-op. It's a co-op game, you know. But I wouldn't consider it as a good horror game. To me, Eri 5 is a decent action game, a pretty fun co-op game actually, but mediocre, I can say it's horror game, you know. But Eri 5 is still okay, because let's say, okay, it follows the steps of Eri 4. They wanted to make a game that is more actiony than the previous one, and they did nail the cooperative aspect. So it would be a bit unfair coming from me to say that this game is complete trash, you know, because it has qualities, you know. I'm not a fan of Resident Evil 5, but it does have some qualities. But Resident Evil 6, this game doesn't exist. It is indeed weird they skipped 6, you know. I wonder why. I wonder what's with that. It seems like a good Eri 4, just without the Mikami touch and more actiony. Yes, it really feels they tried to copy Resident Evil 4, but since it's not made by the same guy, it has a different vibe. You know what's funny? I thought about the comparison recently. There is a pretty interesting comparison that it's not about a game that sucks, because the game I'm going to talk about is actually pretty cool too. I think it's a pretty cool game. But recently my brother have been playing, or should I even say replaying, because he did play those games before, but the Rayman games, you know, the original trilogy. Like, he completed Rayman 2, and now he's playing the first Rayman and Rayman 3. And there is a big difference in vibe between Rayman 3 and Rayman 2, because Rayman 1 and Rayman 2, both games are games made and directed by Michel Ancel, you know, one of the goats. And Rayman 3 isn't a Michel Ancel game, because when they made Rayman 3, Michel Ancel was working in Beyond Good and Evil. And for this reason, Rayman 3 is a pretty weird game. I think it's really fun because it doesn't have the same type of defaults as, let's say, Resident Evil 5, but it's kinda like the same situation as Resident Evil 5, in the sense that both of those games feel like games made by fans, you know, like Rayman 3 is made by Rayman fans, and Resident Evil 5 is made by Resident Evil 4 fans, and both of those games are on steroids. They are on complete steroids. For example, in Rayman 3, everything they did about the comedy, the humor, the gameplay mechanics and stuff, it's really going all over your face. It's a crazy game, you know. If you never played Rayman 3, you should. It's really a trip. Rayman 3 is a trip, but it's really on steroids, especially compared to Rayman 2. Not Rayman 5. Resident Evil 5 is the same thing. It's Resident Evil 4, but on steroids. The action is overblown. The cutscenes are absurd, and the cutscenes were already kinda absurd, you know, in Resident Evil 4. But as you said, Volios, it was the Mikami touch, you know, because Shinji Mikami has a nice sense of humor, and obviously is really knowledgeable in movies and stuff, you know. He probably took from a lot of movies to make Resident Evil 4, but it's really balanced. It's a balanced game. Resident Evil 5 isn't a balanced game, you know. It's not balanced. And I would argue that Rayman 3 isn't balanced either. But the difference for me is that Rayman 3, I guess for me, is a better game because you can play it solo, you don't need a mate to always play Rayman 3, but also because it's a nice game, you know. It's a bit overblown, and it is obviously not a Michel Ancel game, you know. There is not the Michel Ancel touch in Rayman 3, but I think it's a fun game. Rayman 3 is pretty weird indeed, but the few I've played, it was pretty fun. The costume, yes, it was a pretty fun game. Actually, it's the favorite of many people. My favorite would be Rayman 2. My favorite Rayman ever is Rayman 2, The Great Escape. Specifically the Dreamcast edition. The Dreamcast edition, kuma. But I know a lot of people, they loved Rayman 3. And I can understand it. It's a great game. It's a crazy game, but a great game, kuma. But in the same way, there is actually, believe it or not, a significant amount of people for whom their favorite Resident Evil game or Biohazard is Resident Evil 5. And actually, a lot of people, their only Resident Evil game that they ever played was Resident Evil 5 because of the co-op modes, pretty much. Never played a Rayman game. I would recommend. You should. I mean, if you're into platformers, obviously, Gilakun, because if you don't like platformers at all, obviously, Rayman wouldn't be a good pick if you like hate or dislike platformers. But if you're into platformers, especially classic, old school 2D and 3D platformers, because they made 2D Rayman games and 3D Rayman games, I would recommend it. They're top tier. They are. The first one is a bit unbalanced. It's pretty infamous to be quite the hard game, but all the other games, Rayman 2, Rayman 3, Rayman Origins and Rayman Legends, all of those are good. I think all of those are really good games. I like a bit platformers. I see. I guess we could try it eventually. Who knows? You know? Like I said, there is Rayman 2, like the Dreamcast version. If you play Rayman 2, I would recommend the Dreamcast version, which is the definitive edition of Rayman 2. But you have more recent games like Rayman Origins and Legends that have PC version. They're playable on PC. It's just like you have to go through the Uplay Ubisoft launcher, which sucks a bit because Ubisoft sucks because you know what I mean. You know what I mean? Launchers that are other than Steam are annoying. But yes, I would recommend it. I would, Kuma. Okay. Let me finish my water. Anyway, guys. I said that it was going to be a short stream today, so I think I'm going to stop right now because I wasn't expecting to talk so much about anime, but I guess that's really the proof that I have a lot of passion about anime and animation, you know. At first I thought that my review was going to be 30 minutes at most, but now I've been yapping for 2 hours. What the fuck? I've been yapping for 2 hours. So I guess I will let the last part of Sonic Racing for another stream, even more that I was close to the end. But I had fun talking about anime. I'm going to make you my review of this movie the next time, after I watch it, that's for sure. And maybe it will take 2 hours, maybe it will be quicker, who knows, we'll see. Typical Eureka, exactly. I mean, I just love talking about anime, and when people ask me questions, I like to tell them about it, you know, and to be precise, and to give recommendations, of course. So I wanna thank everyone for watching, so Prince Anime, Volios, Bolisu, as always the usuals, Gira-kun, obviously, Westy, and thank you for the follow again, Westy-kun. And anyone else, if anyone was lurking, whether it is on Twitch or the other platform I won't name because I don't want to piss off Twitch-sama. Or should I say Amazon-sama, because Twitch is owned by Amazon, but whatever. Thank you guys, always nice to talk to you. And my next stream is going to be Thursday. Actually, I will stream Thursday, you know, after I watch the movie. I'm going to watch the movie Thursday, and I'm going to do a stream, like today. So Thursday, 6 March, next Eureka stream. And I could be streaming Friday too, I will see. But Thursday I'm going to be here, around the same time, so 6 PM CET, or maybe a bit later. But since the movie is earlier, the screening of the movie is earlier, I believe that I will be able to start on time this time. Pretty much. Okay. So, see you guys, have a nice day, have a nice evening, again, because sometimes we all got different time zones. And I'm going to be here next week, Thursday, 6 PM CET. See ya guys, bye-bye. See you tomorrow, bye-bye.